whoever wants the first one, Coach Wells.
Tight end has always been a fixture here at Utah. How do you continue that coming in at the new regime and kind of new situation, and who are some of the guys that you feel like are starting to emerge?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, first off, this place has always had a great tradition of tight end play, and so that's a challenge. There's obviously a standard there that has been here, and a standard that I have for myself. To develop the best room that we can possibly have here. Continuing to develop the guys that we got, continuing to recruit and develop and coach to an identity, that you want in that room. And, these tight ends, they've got to be guys that are, that are football junkies that love the game. There's a lot of different techniques that they've got to learn. And so finding those big athletes that love the game, that are tough, that are willing to block, that can make the plays in space. There's a lot to it, and that's the fun part. And that's really the part that I enjoy. I love the development part of it. I really like the guys that we have right now. They're great kids. They're eager to learn, which is the first part of it. And they're learning a few new things here and there, and maybe a different way of coaching and understanding what we're trying to get done, and they're embracing it. And so I like their effort. I think the very first part of the whole thing is just understanding the standard of how we play, and before you get into the technique. And before you even get into the assignments is, we're 4 practices in right now, but what's the standard of how hard they need to play every snap? And that's my biggest concern right now is that we consistently line up and play harder than our opponents, out physical our opponents, and out compete them right now. And I think that's the main thing right now.
Coach, what was the pitch from Morgan Scalley to join this staff for his first year?
Yeah, and it's interesting too because I've always admired this program. He didn't have to do much. There's one thing. I've been in this league for a while. I've played against Utah. I played against Utah when I was at Utah State. And so I've always had a lot of respect for this program, and I think living in the state too, I've always just come to understand how good of a job this is and what a great place this is, and the support, the kinds of players that you're able to recruit here. I've had so much respect for this program and Coach Scalley. I mean, I've recruited against him before. I have gone up against him before, and I know what this program's all about. You got blue collar, you got tough kids here, and I've always admired how they played. And I'll tell you what, it's just an incredible opportunity, and I'm very, very blessed and very, very fortunate to be here. Every day that I walk in this building, I know I have a lot of gratitude. I really do. Thankful to be here, and I want to give this place everything I got, and feel like I've got something to prove, and so yeah, with Coach Scalley, it's been great. It's been fun being around this staff, and I love the culture here. I love what he's all about, and the coaching staff, getting to know the rest of the guys. I'd been on staff with Coach McGivern before at Utah State, and so there was some familiarity there. And so, when he was a part of calling me and trying to get me over here, that was another big reason why I came here too, is I wanted to work with him again. And it's been fun getting to know the guys. I really like what we're all about here, and we have fun going to work every day.
You've got a specific role in your room, the Rhino position, that's become a fan favorite. It's just everybody loves the Rhino spot. You've got a couple of unique characters that play that role in Semi and Sione. Can you talk about their nature and what it's been like getting to know those guys in that role.
Yeah, those guys are fun. You know, and the thing you really don't see is kind of what I do with how those guys are in the meeting rooms and how they are in the hallways and the locker room. And first of all, they're a lot of fun to be around. They've got a smile on their face. They've got a real infectious energy about them, which is fun. It's not hard to motivate those guys to go out to practice and give great effort. They kind of naturally do that. They're both self-starters. They're both really good kids, and that's what I've gotten to learn from being around them. And they play with high effort, you know, and they've got a unique skill set. I've been around it before where sometimes when you can be a little bit thin depth-wise at the tight end spot, you know, you look around and you try to find, you know, maybe a sixth O lineman to kind of fill in that, and sometimes you get a guy that may be strong but may not be is quick with their first three steps. Maybe they're a hair stiffer, stuff like that. Not these two guys. They've got really good feet, and they bend really well. And I think that might so far that may have been the biggest, I'd say, pleasant surprise with kind of watching those guys, because I knew they'd be physical, but I don't think I knew how athletic they were till I got here.
You have another unique kind of skill set in Hunter Andrews in your tight end room. Just what does he add to this room, you know, going forward?
Yeah, you know, he is he's an athletic kid, and he like the rest of these guys. I'm excited to just continue to coach and develop these guys. He shows up to work every day, and he's got a good attitude. He's smart, and you know, he's a guy that I think can help us.
Last one with him.
So there are a lot of coaches on the staff that have decades of experience.
Yeah.
A lot of your former coordinators. As you're working with a group that maybe you're working for the first or second time together, but as you're working as a group with all of that experience, the things you've seen, what does it look like as you're collaborating in terms of deciding things like depth chart or game plan or scheme or that sort of thing? How is that working?
I think it's working great. It's kind of cool. We've spent a lot of time together. You know, in January you're out recruiting all the time, so you don't get to see the other guys in the room as much. But February and this first part of March, I mean, you know, offensively we're spending a lot of time together in that offensive staff room, and it's been really, really neat just to get to know the other guys in the room. And I think the first thing is I think you've got to have from the top. You know, if it's Coach Scally or Coach McGivern or Coach Swan, you know, in the defensive room, but having those leaders that when they're running a room, they encourage the other guys in the room to give their input, to give their ideas, and man, you really learn a lot about the other guys in the room, and sometimes you even learn new coaching techniques that you can use, and maybe those guys are saying the same thing, but maybe they're saying it in a different way, and one of the things that we've done is it was kind of cool. We had an exercise the other day where we kind of went around the room and kind of talked about, you know, our own coaching points and our own language, because when you get a group that hasn't really worked together, it's really important to know what everybody's saying, and so there's one voice. And a lot of times we all may be saying the same thing. We all may be trying to get the same point across. But when you're coaching these kids, it's good for us all to say the same language, so that they all hear the same thing, and we can reinforce those ideas. And so your kids, they're the ones that need to know the knowledge, right? It's all about what they know and not what we know. And so they learn it faster. They can play faster. We can execute quicker, and we can, as an offense, you know, progress and improve a lot quicker than normal. And so you've got to have that kind of environment where you can openly communicate, and that's been great for me. I've enjoyed it. Just getting to learn from the other guys in the room and being able to work together with that.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.